So I bet this left arm move is why you might be swinging over the top. So let's get right into this. Milo Line's here at beautiful Superstition Mountain. And today I've got an awesome video for you talking about some of the things and reasons I see players come over the top. But first, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I come out with new videos every week. So here again, from down the line, is the move that I see causing players so much trouble. Now, obviously that's a bit exaggerated, and I'd say the trail hand has something to do with that move, but we want to talk a little bit about some ways that we can feel something different to get our trail hand to cooperate and to get our lead arm to do the correct motion so that the over the top will be the thing of the past. So in my opinion, at the root of this problem is how you are powering the golf club out of the top. So let me just demonstrate the good and the bad. We'll start with the bad, and then hopefully I can do the good. So the bad would be, this is going this way. This left arm is rotating down my chest. The right arm is applying force to the golf club to try to get that golf club back out in front of me. Oh, shoot. That's hard. That hurt. Let me try that one more time. Maybe a little less bad. That was terrible. So, powering it out of the top with my, rolling that down the face. Now that, I see that quite often, and then their bodies start doing crazy stuff. Now let's show you a little bit more of what we want to be doing. And so there we should be able to see quite the difference between one where I'm applying a force that's rolling my left arm down my chest and externally rotating my shoulder versus one where my left arm is more staying up, staying in internal rotation, and my right arm is not throwing force at it. So two totally different patterns. So to isolate this pattern and to just show you what is happening in both the good and the bad. So here's the top of my backswing. I'm just going to put my arms out in front of me as if my body hadn't turned. In the bad motion, this lead arm is rotating in the external fashion like this and putting the club to my left and out in front of me. And generally when we see this, we also will see it leak up the chain and the wrist will go into some amount of more extension. It'll look like that. Now in the good pattern, this lead arm is rotating more internally, and you can see how the center of mass of that golf club actually moves more down into my right, and my wrist moves into more of a neutral or flexed position. So they go in opposite directions. Now, in my coaching, I've noticed that players who have this pattern, where the club is working, their arm is working more down, and the club is working more out in front of them, they tend to have more extension in their pattern. They stand up early. Where players whose arm works more this direction, they tend to stay in posture, stay down, because if we can see this, if this starts to rotate out in front of me, the only way I can shallow this out is to start to stand up. Otherwise, I'm just going to tumble the club and hit it over there somewhere. Where if this stays more up and the center of mass works more down, now I can aim my body more down and turn and hit the ball up my target line. So let me hit one more shot, just showing you the proper powering where my left arm feels like it's almost stretching a little bit up and back and away and allowing the center of mass to come down as I turn into the golf shot. Now, as an awesome exercise and visual, I want to show you what it would look like if I was chopping down a tree with just my lead arm. This gives you the right feel for how to use the lead arm and how to use your body. So let's go over to a tree and chop one down. Okay, so right here we've got a tree. I'm going to imagine this is an axe. I'm swinging it with one hand. I'm going to start chopping this tree down at chest high. So if you could see, if I was going to whack this tree and try to chop it down with my axe, how my left arm is basically almost swinging perpendicular to my shoulder plane or my chest. It doesn't drop down to hit the tree. Okay? Now, let's lower down the tree and imagine we're going to chop the tree down more where the golf ball is. I would aim my chest a little bit down and have the same pattern. Boom. So I'm still chopping the tree down in the same way. What I would not want to do is lower my arm down to hit the tree. If I did that, my axe blade would spin. So if this is my axe, I'm going to chop the tree. If I lower my arm down, now I'm not hitting it with the blade of the axe anymore. I'm now hitting it with the side of the axe. So I want to turn and have that shooting out of my chest pretty close to perpendicular. There may be a little slight lowering, but it's definitely not rolling down my chest. Lowering my arm down like this is actually, for me, it's pretty stressful on my shoulder and it hurts. This action is so much simpler and so much less stress on my body. So for those of you that have been following along for a while, you might remember a video that I talked about how my dad set me up with a stronger left-hand grip, which allowed me to use this very pattern to deliver the club, and it almost feels like throwing a frisbee with my left side or my left hand. So you might refer back to that video for a little more clarity on my thoughts on grip. So I just want to demonstrate quickly to show you what both patterns look like from a face-on perspective. So this would be the rolling down of the club, rolling down. And then this would be the opposite, where the lead arm stays more up and comes out of my chest, more perpendicular, and that looks more like that. Two totally different shots, impacts in a totally different place in both scenarios. Now for many of you, the reason that you've fallen into this bad pattern is your brain is confused on how to square the club face. And it thinks you need to throw that club back out in front of you with your right arm, which causes all these problems. The left arm rolls down too much, impact happens on the back side of you. Now the fix for this is to learn to transition correctly, where we actually walk away from our hands, creating a little bit of additional stretch as we fall into the ground, and then we can unwind, allowing this golf club to follow us and unload properly at the correct time. So here's an awesome drill for you all. I want you to practice taking the club, we're going to swing it back, we're going to feel ourselves fall down and let the club stretch, and then you're going to get down in here to like around P6. And I want you to feel like your lead arm is pointing more out onto the ball target line. I don't want you to feel like your arms are pointing down at your feet. Okay? So we're going to feel that out there, but the club's staying back. Once we can feel that once or twice, boom, now we're just going to turn it back and hit a little shot. That's going to give you a different feel for how to apply force to the golf club. You're no longer rolling the club down your chest and throwing your right hand at it. Now you're letting the club stay back and turning that club out into the ball. Now for those of you that really struggle with hitting pulls and slices, this is your chance to really program in the opposite. So as we're doing this drill, I want you to focus on, we're going to start that ball out to the right, boom, and we're going to hit pushes and draws, just like that shot, a little push draw. So let's leave you all with one last really good shot, feeling all these elements. And there we have it. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you'd like to improve faster, come on over to my online academy at milolinesgolf.com for one-on-one coaching combined with the athlete's swing. My simple, step-by-step playbook to truly swing like an athlete. Click the link below to start your training today. And if you're new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop. Thanks again. We truly appreciate all of you.